Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Today's hot rod of the week is going to be good because it became a legend on NASCAR super speedways.
43 Dodge around Allison on the outside to take the lead. He switched to a Dodge Charger for this race because they felt it was more aerodynamically suited to this track than the Plymouth he usually drives.
So I got in Casper and headed up to my buddy Phil Carr's house. Phil has an awesome collection of Mopars. You know, we haven't had a Mopar on the channel yet. That's because I saved the best for last. Well, as you can see, we got a special car sitting here in this driveway. This is something that you don't see every day. This is Phil's pride and joy, and he's had it for, what, how long?
Since 04,
04. So this thing has become part of the family. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you look at this thing, I mean, this thing is immaculate. It doesn't come any better than this. So these cars are really special, and not many people know the story of these cars. You know, the 72 Charger Rallye, it became an option in 72 after they dropped the Super B and the RT in 71. So this became pretty much the performance package, if you will. And needless to say, they got it right. You know, because you got to remember, back in the day, insurance companies were charging huge premiums for big block cars. And so people who still wanted to have a muscle car and be able to afford to drive it, this here was the car to get. You know, this here has a 340 in it, has a automatic, even has the cool tough wheel over there. So this thing is something else. He's put a lot of time and effort into this car, and I promise you, I've never seen another one. I've seen a lot of other Chargers, but I have never seen another 72 Charger Rallye. I guess you'd have to go to Carlisle to see that, but this thing is just immaculate. And one of the cool things that I love about this car is Phil is like us. He drives the car. You know, it's not, this car is not 100% trailer queen. You know, if him and his wife Wanda want to get in it and go to the mountains, they get in it and drive it to the mountains. You know, a couple hour drive. You know, and this thing is dependable as they come. And he was just telling me that he checked the fuel mileage on it, and it's coming in at about 18 miles to the gallon. And you think about that. This is a B-body car with a 340. I mean, those numbers were unheard of back in the day. So it just goes to show you how, you know, if you do some tuning and some modern techniques, you can make these cars do things that were never capable of doing in the 71 and 72. This car here, like I said, it has a really cool history. He's had the car for quite some time, and like I said, he drives the car. And I'm going to introduce you to him, and I'm going to let him tell you the story in his own words, and I think you'll really love it. Phil, this is Phil Carr, everybody. Tell everybody about your 72 Charger.
Well, I found this car in 2004, and I'd had a 71 Charger back in 1973, had it a few years, and I always said, you know, I love that old car, and if I can find me another one, I will. So this one turned out to be a Charger Rallye, so that makes it, you know, a little bit special. But I spent a couple years restoring it. Mr. Tony Green did the body work and paint, and he done an outstanding job. And then several years ago, had an issue with number 7 cylinder was pumping oil, and I was lucky enough to be working with Andy himself at Napa Auto Parts at the time.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times together.
Yeah, and so we got talking about I needed an engine rebuild, and Andy jumped and said, I want to help you. So we got out here and we had the heads redone and put a cam in it. And the car, ever since then, that was been probably 8 or 10 years ago.
Every bit that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the car just, it's a car to go down the interstate at 75, 80 mile an hour all day long, and it runs good. I was telling Andy that it's oil levels never went down from full, and
that's awesome.
He done a super job on that engine. I was the assistant.
I hear you.
But we had a lot of fun out there in that garage.
Absolutely.
Rebuild that motor, but it shows that you know, he done a good job. That's all I can say, and I'm tickled to death with it.
What's the chances that we could take this thing for a ride?
Let's get in.
Let's do it. Awesome. This thing is just awesome. Not every day you get to ride in a car like this. That'd be all right. The main thing is I just don't want to get it dirty. Y'all hear that? There's nothing like the sound of a Mopar. So, where was you at when you got Richard Petty's autograph on there?
We went to, he had a fan open house up there one day at Level Cross.
Yeah?
And they said he was going to sign autographs for a couple hours, then he was going to go downtown to a festival. So my daughter, you know, it pays to have a young, beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
So she went up to the state trooper and said, any way you can get Richard to come in here and sign my daddy's car.
Uh-huh.
So the trooper,
like, okay.
Yeah, he just about had to lay down in the seat.
I bet so, at the angle that is.
He's a big old boy, you know. And
that is so cool, though. Looking over Powerball to it like that. That thing is bad. Man, this thing rides like a dream, you know? I mean, It is unreal.
It's a if you want a muscle car for the road, you know, that rides good, handles good, this is it.
Now you've had multiple Mopars, you know, different bodies. You're a B-body guy.
Well, yeah, I'm a B-body man.
So, what is it about the B-body that does it for you?
I think it's the larger car. It's a larger than the A-body, the E-body, and so forth. And your B-bodies tended to have the bigger motors in them.
Yeah.
It seemed to me like, you know, that's my opinion. But
yeah, that's the truth. You know, when the Roadrunner come out, that came with the 383. And I think the Roadrunner is really the car that really jump-started the B-bodies, you know?
oh yeah, the 68 Roadrunner. Well, 67 GTX.
Yeah, there you go.
They called it the, what do they call it? The
Gentleman's muscle car.
Gentleman's
Yeah,
muscle car.
yeah.
67, in my opinion, 67 GTX was the start of it. And then
Yeah.
68,
And he had one of them, by the way.
I've been two GTX.
Yeah. That thing sounded good. I mean, you don't hear any squeaks, no rattles. I mean, this thing is as tight as they come.
And it gets up when you give it the gas. It seems, this car to me, it just seems like, on the interstate especially, that it just wants to go.
Yeah.
You get up anyway, it wants to go.
Well, it has what, 323 gears now?
323.
Yeah, so when you get it up on 70 miles an hour, that's when it starts doing its thing, really.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be afraid to get in it and go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I've taken it to Tennessee, several different places.
Well, and two, about having a car like this, if you say you did decide to drive it on a long trip, and if something crazy did happen, you could fix it on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, if you had to. You couldn't do that with new cars. That's the thing with new cars. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this car just as much as I did. I just want to thank you, Phil, for sharing your car with us. And
My pleasure.
you know, 72 Dodge Charger, it doesn't get any better than that.